welcome to Car Garage. Today we're getting King Kong another step closer to going to Moab. We're leaving in 6 days. I have about 2 or 3 of those days to actually finish everything on this, get the camper ready, pack, and then leave. We've got a lot to do. Don't panic. Sorry, I was panicking for a second. We got a lot to do. So let's get started. First, we're going to change the gear oil, and then we're going to work on getting an AFR, air fuel ratio, or wideband gauge set up so I can do some data logging and we can get a final tune put on this thing. Because we have, I don't know, about 1,300 miles, 5 trail days, and towing a camper out to Moab. So we really want to make sure this thing's dialed in, ready to go. Let's get started. I gotta get this out of the way again. Hey. Oh yeah, I'm getting good at that. All right. There we go. Dana 60s. Got a fill port here and a drain port there. I believe this one takes 2.1 quarts of gear oil. We're using Valvoline full synthetic 75-140 because that is what the internet told me, or at least the Dana Spicer spec sheet. So we'll get underneath, throw a drain pan, and get to work. Okay. So the plugs on these, if you didn't know, most differentials, all you need is a 3/8 ratchet in it. That's what fits into the plug. If I can break it. Oh, super tight. Why? Is it moving? Okay, Dana doesn't mess around putting those in. Holy cow. Oh, yep, mess everywhere. Okay. So I did engage, I better get a rag. I did engage the hubs for a little bit around town. And that's just to get some of that oil cycling through, you know, spin those gears in the differential. Always the front, you know, doesn't get used nearly as much as the rear. Get the plug out for better drainage. Oh, the fill plug. All right, we'll let that drain. It's worth noting, these have a magnet, and I'm just looking for any, you know, a lot of sludge, or I'd expect a little bit just from, you know, it being a brand new gear set, but there's no chunks. There's a, you know, a little bit of grit, nothing crazy. I think we're safe there. So I'll let this drain for a couple minutes. I'll put the plug, bottom plug back in, and then we'll fill. If you guys haven't seen these bags, man, what a good idea these were. If you've ever tried to change the differential fluid and you've used just a normal bottle, it's next to impossible to get the angle underneath the vehicle to actually pour the fluid in. I've tried hand pumps and weird funnel configurations, and you always have to buy an extra quart because you dump half of it on the ground. At least I do. And these bags make it just so much easier because you can contort them, you know, over my tie rod here and just squeeze it in. So they're pretty slick. So we'll put in a couple of those. What I'll do is I put the plug back in, and then I'm just going to fill until I get a little weepage out of the fill plug, and that's normally the easiest way to know that you're full. So we'll check back in a couple minutes. Okay. So I've got the fill plug back in. Typically just snug's good, but I've been known to over tighten things every now and then, maybe break a bolt or two. So I actually got it snug and then grabbed the torque wrench and just set it at 30 foot-pounds and tightened it to that. That way I don't have to worry about being too loose or too tight. I like torque specs, you know. I'm spending this much money and time on this thing. I might as well have everything kind of as done by the book as possible. My only complaint about these bags is that safety, I don't know, there's like a seal on top. Just stab, peel, and then take some side cutters here and clip off the top of the cap. And now see how much I spill. Oh, these bags are awesome. I just seated the cap all the way in to the fill hole, and now I can just squeeze the bag. So much easier. We'll do this until oh, it said, oh, I misspoke. I told you 2 quarts wrong. It's 2 litres, of course, because nothing can ever be the same unit of measurement. You know, engine oil, quarts. Differentials, liters. I don't know why, but that's what they recommend. So basically, I'm going to dump bags in here until it comes out this weep hole, or the fill plug. I don't know. I'm not a rocket surgeon, all right, or an engineer. I know some basic stuff. All right, one down. All right, front differential is done. That went pretty smooth. So let me bring you in for something really satisfying I discovered while I was looking at this. Oh yeah, I only get to do that once. Sweet. Okay, moving on to the rear. Much of the same process here. Drain plug underneath, fill plug there. We'll drain it, take that off, put that back in, and fill it up. You know, one of the nice things about having a lifted vehicle is you may not be able to fit in your garage without cutting the header, and you may not be able to flip the hood on a Jeep or jack it up tall enough to droop the suspension. But if you want to change the oil or the differentials, you can roll underneath, no jacks needed. So that's pretty nice. Can I do this without making a mess? Probably not. You know, it's an awfully nice day today. We quite literally, well, 6 days ago, we had 14 inches of snow. Today, it might hit 80 degrees. Just crazy weather. All right, we're gonna let this drain, that drain plug, you know, just a little bit of that real fine stuff, but brand new gears, just getting broken in. I'm not concerned about that at all. Oh, so tight. That's over 30. Oh my goodness. Okay, guess I'm gonna get a breaker bar. Just kidding, I don't have a 3/8 breaker bar. Guess I just need to muscle up. Oh, just go until everything pops, and you'll get it. All right, I'm gonna let this drain, and we'll fill it and check back in with you. Don't worry, I get to do it one more time. Yup. Sweet. Okay, real quick, when I was changing the oil in the front diff, I did notice that my locker wiring, while it's secured really nicely to the breather tube, kind of like what I did with the rear, I'm going to put some wire loom over this as well, just to give it extra protection. I'm not going to cover the plug, but I'll just get the wires themselves and then tidy the lines back up, just like on the rear one. So I'm going to get that real quick. All right, here's that, just cleaned up a little bit. Some wire loom, some extra zip ties, just a little cleaner routing, nothing major. Okay, next up, we're gonna work on tuning. So it's got a pretty good tune in it, but I don't really have an original builder that I can go to and talk about any issues. So I found a remote tuner. He's a state away, but he's able to log in using this RTD, or remote tuning device, and make different adjustments. You know, I want this to be a fairly reliable driver, especially when we're going through the mountains and long road trips. So he's helping me with the tune. In order for him to get an accurate picture of what's going on, he really needs a wideband or an AFR gauge, so air fuel ratio gauge. It'll be data logged through this RTD, but I need to install this, and I'm just going to run it temporarily, data log the points you need, so idle, cruising around, some full throttle pulls, which is why I had to wait till the gears were broken in to do this, so I could have some full throttle pulls and get them that information. So this is, you know, wiring, don't love it, but this is pretty plug and play, pretty simple. I have an O2 sensor that's actually going to go in place of one of the downstream O2 sensors on the vehicle. I'm just going to unplug that for now. This will get plugged in. This gets plugged into this cord. This only fits on one area back here, so they make that pretty dummy proof into the gauge. This plugs into the back of the gauge, and the only port it can go to, also dummy proof. And then this wire pack splits, and that runs to power, and those are just going to get pushed in to this little cigarette lighter to give the gauge power. Like I said, this is temporary. I'm just running it for my tuners, so as soon as I'm done getting those data logs, I'm going to unplug this stuff, put my O2 sensor back in, and just kind of have this set aside. So this powers it. The other split goes to the OBD2 plug-in. That gets plugged into my OBD2, and then it has another port on the front side here, which the RTD will get plugged into that. You know, there. So fairly straightforward. I'm going to start the install. We'll get a data log. Let's see what that O2 sensor has in store for me. I mean, it only has 3,300 miles on it right now, so I think everything should come apart pretty easy. I don't have the skid plates on there blocking my access to the exhaust, so it should be fairly straightforward, but let's figure it out. Okay, we are under the vehicle, just behind the transfer case on the driver's side. Here's my exhaust coming down, that's rear. So this is the rear O2 sensor. I'm going to undo that. It just unplugs right there. So I'm going to get that off, hopefully easily enough, using this thing. And then I'll run the wiring probably just up around, probably just like through the door, the window, because it's going to just be temporary. So work on that first. All right, so here's what we got. Wideband sensor into the O2 bung. Wire comes up, and maybe you can see it. I kind of have it hidden back on the frame here, just tucked in. Comes down around through the passenger side window. Just have it wrapping around the seat. That goes into my gauge there, and the gauge is wired into power there. That runs up over the steering wheel into my OBD2, and then boop, that gets put in there. I do some data logging, and we should have a wideband gauge set up. It's, you know, not pretty, but it's in there. It's going to do the job, and then it's going to come back out. So let's give it a try. Sure. All right. The RTD is plugged into the OBD2 connector down there. Bluetooth connected to an app on my phone. The AFR gauge has power. Now it's the moment of truth. Will it read anything? All right, that looks like a success. So I'm gonna let the truck warm up a little bit. I'm wearing this fuzzy thing for the first time. Hopefully you guys can hear me okay. I know I'm gonna have a check engine light because I don't have the OBD2, or I'm sorry, the O2 sensor connected. But we're gonna let it warm up, cruise around, and then I'm gonna data log some cruising, idle, normal driving, and some full throttle hits. I got a serious topic I want to bring up real quick and get your opinion on. Now, my wife Micah, you know, washed my hat the other day, and it's the right thing to do. It was really, really dirty, but it just doesn't feel right after being washed. How do you guys wash your hats? How do you wash them? I don't know. I don't know what to do with this. It still fits. It's just not dirty, broken in. Let you know, post below if you guys got tips, or do you wash your hat? Am I weird? All right, let's go for a ride. All right, we're at a abandoned highway for a full throttle pass. Here we go. Yeah, that's pretty quick. Okay, I think the AFR gauge and data log session was a success. I recorded that info, sent it to my tuner, and hopefully I hear back from him in a couple of days, a day or two, I don't know. But now I'm just gonna undo everything I just did. All right, well, thanks for joining along on this episode, Two Car Garage. What did we do today? Change the front differential fluid, cleaned up a little bit of wiring on the front axle locker. We changed the rear diff fluid. We hooked up a temporary AFR gauge, wideband, and went out for a cruise. We data logged it, got some full throttle passes, some cruising, some idle time, hopefully some data that allows my tuner to make this thing just really, really drivable. It's pretty good, but just fine tune it. Then we brought it back, let it cool down, and we took all of that out, put the O2 sensor back in, did a quick nut and bolt check, and I think now it's a nice day, so we're gonna give it a wash. Thank you very much. I appreciate you watching. Please, if you're enjoying these videos, like, subscribe. It just helps get the word out. And hopefully you guys get something out of it or just enjoy it. Otherwise, thank you very much for watching. We'll see you in the next one.